up, YouTube? We're back with another video on Empress issue 3. We pick up our story with everybody being teleported to the top of a mountain and the little prince falling inside a monster's mouth. But the bodyguard is like, don't worry, I'll get him myself. Like a boss, he jumps straight into the monster's mouth, diving headfirst. Everyone was shocked. Everyone thought he had just killed himself. But this guy was too much of a badass. He dived, catching the little prince and pulling out his blaster, planting 2 shots, allowing the monster to stretch out his mouth to the fullest and swallowing them whole. This allowed him to use the monster's tongue as a cushion to land safely because they were still at the top of a mountain. So he had to land safely first before killing this monster. The queen was sad. She thought her kid had just died. Matter of fact, she thought them both had just died. But the little man was like, bruh, relax. You know he's just going to kill her from the inside. And she didn't know this because she was underestimating his capabilities, but the dwarf knew. He knew what was up. And he told her, you need to focus, shorty. Because right now, we are about to die. Communications link wasn't working, so they couldn't even talk to him anyways. She had to focus because right now another monster stood before them. The same type, only white furred. And they had to run. Everyone run with all of their might. The saddest part was the dwarf had little legs, so him running was sad. The Empress asked him, why aren't you teleporting anywhere? And he was like, nah, there's a blizzard, bro. It would never work. So they had to keep on running just to survive. The dwarf jumped up and grabbed the helm of his drone so he could run because obviously he had shorter legs than everyone else. They kept running as fast as they could down the mountain until they got to a big ass slab of ice, allowing the monster to crack it because of his weight. But because of his weight, the hole was too big, forcing the queen to fall in as well. She was drowning in the ice, and the ice was freezing. The queen was about to die, but for some reason, she was able to swim out like nothing. Everyone tried to reach for her and save her, which they did. But as soon as she came out of the water, something was there waiting for her. The big-ass blue monster himself was about to eat all of them. But sadly, he was not meant to live too long because he had swallowed a badass. Poof, that's all we saw. And his corpse, the hole in his chest was pulsing. Someone was stepping out. Who else but Dane, the bodyguard? Like a beast holding the little prince, he gave him to the queen. And the queen demanded, where are we? But as soon as they saw the sign, they knew they had messed up. Where they stood was basically the royal zoo for endangered animals, and they had killed 2 of them. Anyways, they were about to get busted, so using the opportunity, the drone looked at the stars and charted a course. And because of this, everyone was able to teleport to another planet. But the thing is, this drone is kind of buggy. You never know where he's going to pop up at because he's just using his sight to teleport. So at that moment, everyone was teleported to somewhere they did not expect, which was literally the middle of an intergalactic race. Imagine being teleported to the middle of NASCAR, bro, but faster because these are basically like super chariots. They were in danger, like that kid in The Simpsons. I'm in danger. But at that moment, they chartered another course for another planet, and they teleported into an ocean planet filled with 2 monsters who apparently knew this was the royal family. But instantly, they had to leave as well because, they were drowning. This comic is so funny. Anyways, they jumped literally into the middle of a war zone. They were literally in danger every single jump they took. But at this point, Dane was like, man, can you be serious for once? And he started fighting every single person, till they teleported again to the planet of those special aliens that like to exercise inside people's body to make them more beautiful so they could get paid. So they decided, since this planet was peaceful, they were going to lay low here for a while. It was exhausting being chased by the king, or rather the emperor of the known universe. Regardless though, in another place across the galaxy, we see the emperor himself pulling up to the planet they were before all this jumping started. In the home of the mob boss, he pleaded with the emperor to let him explain. But the emperor didn't care. I mean, this is the man that has conquered the whole galaxy. He just told him, no, don't speak. Not in my presence. Do you know why? Everywhere in this galaxy, there is peace. The reason is simple. Everyone is afraid of me. For thousands of generations, I have kept the galaxy at peace, out of fear. How peaceful would the galaxy be if they found out I cannot control my own wife, and you let her go? An example must be made. Stepping forward quietly, the emperor stretched out his massive hulking hands, placing it at the side of the mob boss's face. Instantly, he said, "You let her get away." And he crushed his head like a freaking fruit. After that was done, they went to the courtyard to see the new army. Apparently, this new army, they put loyalty above everything else. And at that moment, the emperor chose to test their loyalty by commanding them to kill the captain of his fleet, who prior in issue 1 had actually allowed the queen escape as well. They blasted him to dust. And when they were done, there was nothing left. The emperor was pleased. Matter of fact, he was overjoyed. He doesn't like being questioned and he doesn't like failure. He commanded them to wipe out the whole freaking city, kill everyone on sight. And they did, because no one could stop him. And he will burn the stars themselves down to find his children. This guy is worse than Thanos. He's a psychopath. And I love it. Regardless though, back with his family, we see the Empress trying to feed her child, talking to her daughter, and her daughter asked her, "Why did you even marry him if you hated him?" And she made it clear, "I didn't hate him at first. I truly loved him. But I was a different person back then. And even now, he's too dangerous. He is a monster. And I had to get you people out of there, even if I had to risk my own life to do it." She looked at her mother and asked, "Are you sure it's not about Dane? Because if it's about your bodyguard, I promise you I will leave you right here now." Her mother grabbed her arm and looked at her in the eye and said, "I promise on all your lives it's not about him." You know, she lying. This is when we see Dane checking in with the little prince, making sure he's okay. And he was happy. He knew his father planned to kill him because he was weak. And right now, his mother saved his life. And he was overjoyed. I like this dude. He's very, very smart. Regardless though, they had to move. And the little dwarf had a plan to teleport them to where they parked ships. This is when we find out that he has the ability to control ships with his mind, but really, really old models. But before he could, a storm approached. This storm was heavy and dangerous. He had to get out of there fast, because if they didn't, they will be trapped on that planet forever. I hope you enjoyed this video. Check out the rest before I drop the new one tomorrow. Bye. Like and subscribe and share. God bless.